Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. I'm in the shopping centre today, and we're going to go for a little walk through it together so I can describe for you what I'm seeing. Before I do that, I just want to give you the phrase of today, which is as happy as Larry. We use this phrase to talk about people who are contented. How's John? He's as happy as Larry. How's your cat? He's as happy as Larry. And we always use this when we're comparing. Oh, my cat doesn't look very peaceful today, really. He was as happy as Larry this morning. And we sometimes use it for health as well. For example, oh, John's gone to the hospital. Really? He was as happy as Larry earlier. What happened to him? There we are, as happy as Larry. So I'm as happy as Larry walking through this shopping centre. Let me tell you first of all that this centre is called the Piazza. Now, we often give shopping centres Italian names, and we do that because we associate Italy with good food, good coffee, joy, and hospitality. And I'm sure it's not always like that in Italy, but we kind of see the Mediterranean as some kind of hotspot of happiness. Unfortunately, this shopping centre, although it's called the Piazza, doesn't look particularly happy. There's a lot of people walking through it, but there's a lot of closed shops. Many of them are boarded up. Many of them look like they've been closed for quite some time. But let me just tell you what I'm seeing. So on the right-hand side, there's a closed store. There's people walking around inside it. I think it was a furniture store, but I'm not sure. On the other side, there's a card shop. Now, British people, we love sending cards. Happy birthday, happy divorce, happy, well, you name it, and we have a card for it. Probably the main one that's coming up is Valentine's Day. Okay, so what I'm seeing now is a shop selling second-hand goods. We live in a very disposable culture, and that means very quickly we get rid of things. So when we get something new, we dispose of the old. So we have a system here where we can give all of the things we don't want, books and clothes and furniture, to a second-hand shop. It will refurbish them and can resell them at a really, really cheap price. And you can get some bargains in these shops. The good thing about them is these shops are always supporting charities. So this second-hand shop, for example, that I'm passing by, is supporting a homeless charity. And not only is it supporting it, but it's actually operated by the charity itself. It's a great way of making money for a good cause. Let's just continue with a walk through the shopping centre here. So, there's a grocer which sells only frozen foods. And perhaps the strangest thing about this shopping centre is there's no fresh food markets, there's no supermarkets. You'd have to go out of town if you want one of those. So there's a supermarket there which is selling frozen foods and basic supplies, like maybe some bread and milk. Okay, next we have a nail bar. A nail bar is where you can get your nails polished if you're a woman. It's basically a place you can go to have a manicure for your fingers. And these shops here are usually operated by Chinese people. I don't know why that is, It's just one of these things. So the nail bars are usually operated by Chinese people, and it's full. Many people are having their nails done. Of course, it's a female thing. I don't think any men here would want to have their nails done, but who knows? Next is the Poundland shop, proudly telling us that everything in this shop is only £1. It only costs £1. So I'm continuing to walk. There was a shoe shop in the next unit, but that's closed down now. The shoes they sold were very, very cheap and looked like plastic, but perfect in an emergency. And next to that, there's another shop selling sportswear, which I guess is here because the units in the center would be very, very cheap. Let's see. So I'm just walking out of the center now onto the high street because I'll need to go home and get ready for starting work. Right, so the contrast between the hot Piazza shopping centre and the cold air of the street is quite striking. Unlike inside the shopping centre, outside is absolutely freezing. There's a beautiful blue sky which is contrasting against the rather dark grey buildings of our industrial years. There are some statues here, presumably of Victorian heroes, and there's a big seagull sitting on top of one of the town's founders, which is a little bit amusing. If we just continue to walk up the street a little bit, because I'm going to get the bus home, just walking up, then I can see that there's more shops here which have been closed and they're boarded up. In the middle of all of that, there's a health food shop selling healthy things. And if I look around, the sun is shining, but the pavement is icy. So that gives you an idea just how cold it is. So, very grey pavements, blue sky, and I'm looking at a very old building with a clock on the top, and the clock clearly has stopped. It's at the wrong time, and like most UK towns and cities, this place also has a town hall, and the town hall also has a clock on it which is at the correct time. And you'll probably hear that in a moment ringing because it chimes a bell every hour during the day. These buildings are all very Victorian. They tend not to build new buildings in the town centre because there's plenty of them need to be used, which are all boarded up and closed. There's also the War Memorial facing me. Again, every UK town has one of those. Oh, there's the town hall bell. So it's 11 a.m. here, and I'm just at the War Memorial, which is a very looming kind of statue. Very beautiful, but very imposing at the same time. I can see from the stats on my website that you're all enjoying my weekly lesson on teacherjoseph.com. So remember, there's a weekly lesson now every week for you to study. There's a little thing for you to do every day. So if you're interested in that, please remember, go to my website, teacherjoseph.com. And also there's a link to my personal site which has all my poetry on it. I'm currently trying to go through my poetry archive and sort out all the poems I have. I never thought of myself as a historian or poet, but you know, as I get older, it seems to me that people are expecting me to have memories and to be able to produce old photos. Last week, in a local newspaper, somebody from the Netherlands was asking for information and details about a grave, a tomb that's in the Netherlands. And they gave the name in details. And I thought, oh, that was one of my grandmother's cousins. And I was able to provide them with a photo. And this is what happens when you get older. I mean, it just seems like I was 20, and now suddenly I'm in my 50s, and I'm expected to be able to know and give a lot of information to other people about history. I like it, but it's just coming as a bit of a shock that I'm now middle-aged. Well, yeah, still middle-aged. I'm not giving up that title easily. And that's it from me today. So I hope you've enjoyed this little walk around my town centre. Just in closing, I just want to tell you there's lots of buses here proudly saying that they're electric. But the problem with these electric buses is because they're electric, they don't use the heating because it drains the battery too quickly. So even though I'm going to catch the bus home, it'll be rather a cold journey if they don't switch the heating on. And that's it from me. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Let's talk again soon. See you. Bye.